Alrighty, welcome y'all. Glad to see you all on here. First things first, I want to kind of mention that a couple of the vibes of the calls are going to be switching up a little bit. So we're going to have topics for each call for all of you guys to kind of jot down, make sure you make the trainings that are, most important as much as you can to be able to get all of your questions asked while also gaining a ton of value in the process. So what we're going to be doing for a scheduling moving forward is Mondays, we're going to be doing performance-based topics. So I'm going to be using a little bit more of my NLP side, different practices that I've learned over time to talk about business performance and the way that we can maximize our performance in business. So Mike and I will be jamming Monday nights on that topic. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be doing open Q&A sessions. So those will be the sessions you guys can come, bring your questions, get your answers. Wednesdays, we're going to do marketing. So we're going to be focused on content, different content ideas, different marketing tactics, and how you guys can get what you need out of those trainings. Fridays, we're going to be focused on sales. So if you are currently in a position where outreach is running, appointments are getting booked, and you're hopping on calls, definitely prioritizing Wednesday, Fridays, like really all the trainings are important, but Friday sales trainings are going to be very important because we need to get that real-time feedback of how those calls went and be able to give you guys the pointers in order to close more deals in this program. What we've been noticing is that appointments are being set and we don't have so much visibility on what's happening on the calls. So we need to have this call that's specifically tailored to being able to get that feedback from you guys and coach you through those sales situations, right? So Fridays are going to be sales. So to cover it one more time, Monday nights are going to be performance-based. Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be Q&A. Wednesday is going to be marketing. Fridays are going to be sales. So drop a quick message into the automated coaching engine if that's clear to you. So Tuesdays and Thursdays Q&A, Monday performance, Wednesday is content, Friday is sales. Go ahead and just let me know that that's clear. Want to make sure that that's good because now we'll have a real structure that we can follow with our trainings to make sure that you guys are getting value and getting everything that you need out of that. So today, what I want to talk about is a topic that's super important with building a business. And I think, we're all experts in what we do, right? You guys all have a specialized skill set where you're able to coach at an extremely high level, and you guys deserve to be here with each other in a space where we can all impact a lot of lives. And your specialized coaching is necessary and needed in the marketplace, right? So what I want to cover here today is really on Mondays ongoing is business performance as a whole. Because, we can have these specialized skill sets and we can get tested for real when it comes to business. So I want to talk about some different areas of really cultivating confidence and conviction in business and how to have that consistency over time, right? Because oftentimes what my coach says to me every single time I have a conversation with him about my business, he says the same exact thing, and it always provides me the solution to my problem. Business is purely mechanical, but this is what gets in the way 90% of the time, right? We want to make the tweak too soon. We're getting antsy. Things aren't going the way we want. We want to adjust everything, right? Like there's all these things that get in the way. And sometimes it is like heart driven. Sometimes it is a pivot that's necessary because we feel a call on our heart to be able to pursue this lane that looks to be the path that we need to take, right? And if it is that call, it's important. But there's also an understanding of the fact that like going through these trainings, coming up with these topics, presenting these different trainings, over time, I've realized that, look, I just filled the automated coaching engine course with a ton of more content regarding dialing in your offer, regarding the magnetic method, how you can implement the Facebook group strategy that we've been using to book appointments. The mechanics are there, right? All the mechanics are in our system for you guys to be able to find the answers. And if there's not, then you can bring those questions to the Q&A sessions and get your questions answered, right? So from that perspective, when it comes to business mechanics will always be fulfilled in this environment for you. We'll always tailor an approach. If you have something where you want to make a pivot, we will get together, we will strategize, we will find the solution, right? But there's a piece, and really what I'm talking about tonight is the piece that I can't control, but I can help out to the best of my ability, which is building the confidence and conviction in business. And let's be real, we can all agree that business is one of the biggest tests in life, right? We can have everything figured out, and when a business struggle arises, that business struggle can tend to take over other areas of our life, because business is tied to finance, which depending on our beliefs around finances, depending on our beliefs around money, then we can attach negative feeling towards our business if it's not producing cash. And I know this from experience, because me and Mike have both fallen into the trap of really diving too deep into this. If the business takes a little bit of a hit, maybe we have a bad 2 weeks, we've noticed this thing where, like, no matter what level you're at, business tends to be a roller coaster. And the roller coaster doesn't just go up and down. It goes up, sideways, down, around, goes backwards, then elevates, right? It goes all over the place. And it's tough to control the environment in which a business grows. There's all of these different factors that go into growing a business. There's people who will tell you, like, grow predictably, grow this way, do this, right? But ultimately, there's no control over that. There's control over ourselves. And we are the operator of the business, right? So we are the one who's in control of that roller coaster. And it becomes a lot more complicated when you get team members in place where you have to understand that you're also in control of them being a piece of that roller coaster, right? So let's talk about cultivating the confidence and conviction in business in general, right? Because some of you might be in a place where you've got a lot of clients and you've already had previous success in your business, and therefore you have proof of concept to apply to the marketplace right now, right? So you might already have some confidence and conviction in yourself as a coach or in what you're selling because you've already proven it. But a lot of people in our program are in a place where they don't have the confidence and conviction in their business because they have not proved the concept yet, right? Understand this. And this is when I really shifted my whole entire mindset around business and the way that I make decisions. Every time you try and make a decision based off of what is known, you are making a decision that is based on the past, because all that is known is the past, right? As individuals, the only thing that we can grasp and have a strong understanding of, proof of concept, is what has happened in the past. Therefore, we have a lot of uncomfortable feelings towards stepping into the unknown. And the unknown is building a business when you don't currently have one. The unknown is proving an offer that you don't currently have. The unknown is testing an audience that you've never stepped into. So stepping into the unknown is what we have to get more comfortable with as business owners, because that's the place that we operate from 24/7. So in your coaching practice, you might be working on healing. You might be working on these different things where we're looking at our past and we're healing those situations so that we can become more present and operate from a place of fulfillment and love and all these other emotions, right? Or all these other feelings. But understand this, in business, every single day, every single decision is made with the unknown. Yes, you can have a little bit of, oh, this worked with this audience last week, so maybe it'll work this week, but it'll always be a maybe. There will always be a maybe in there. And that's the tough part of business, is when it comes to building confidence and conviction in business, understanding the fact that you will always have uncertainty in business, no matter what level you get to. I told myself, hey, when I build a 6-figure business, I'll have way more certainty. I'll have way more of a straight path that I need to take. Wrong. I told myself when we hit 25K, oh, I'll have a straight path. Oh, when we hit 50K, I'll hit a straight path. We have yet to solve the problem of uncertainty because it is the underlying piece of business that will never be solved for. And as soon as you let go of any sort of control within expectations or assumptions within your business is when your business starts to grow. the thing is when we cling on to this sort of feeling of needing to know or guessing or these different things where we have this guess, but we have this expectation attached to it, when we cling on to that, then we lose the beauty of letting go that actually allows the space for results to happen. In my time solving businesses at a high or solving problems in business at a high level, the biggest thing I've understood, the biggest thing that I've found out is that letting go is what provides solutions to you. But there's this interesting dynamic, there's this interesting dichotomy when it comes to business, where we have to let go of expectations while also grabbing hold of extreme ownership of situations. So one of the things I posted on my story that you guys might have seen today if you were on Instagram and came across my story is I presented the idea of extreme ownership and how ownership is really what unlocks the key to your life. Ownership is what really allows you to say, okay, if this is my business or if this is something that I'm not doing to push my business forward, and I accept that I'm the one that's in control of that, then I can actually find the solution that enables the result that I'm looking for, right? I have found through habitual doing, like doing it over and over again, that every time I point a finger in a direction of, oh, Rocky's the reason why I can't do a training tonight, right? Rocky's barking his head off. No, I need to take ownership of that situation. Can I control his barking? No, I can't. But I can do what I can in order to minimize his barking so that I can deliver a powerful message to you guys, right? So there will always be factors that you can't control, but taking ownership of that factor is what allows the solution to come into play so that you can solve that and focus on what actually matters, reality, right? Because we will tell ourselves stories. We will tell ourselves stories as to why we can't create the content, why we can't put our face on social media, why we can't, convert sales. We will tell ourselves stories. We'll say that it's the method. We'll say that it's the process. We'll say that it's the script. When in reality, there are multiple pieces towards letting a business run on autopilot and being able to actually create consistent revenue. And we are the most important lever on that machine. So when it comes to actually building that confidence and conviction in your business, the biggest way, the number one way that Mike and I have been able to really have a strong sense of confidence and conviction in our business is by building the confidence and conviction in ourselves. And I know that you guys all know the different ways that you can build confidence and conviction in yourselves. I'm sure you're well aware of this, but I should always be covering this no matter what, because a reminder is always important and hearing it from somebody else is always important. Building confidence and conviction in yourself is all about doing the shit that you say you're going to do. When you say you're going to do something, do you follow through? Do you allow the outside circumstances to come into play? What do you do when those outside circumstances come into play? That's where ownership comes in, right? So if we think about building confidence and conviction in ourselves, since we're a reflection of our business, since our business is simply a mirror of ourselves, when we think about confidence and conviction, when you say you're going to do something and something gets in the way of that thing getting done, do you take ownership of that thing, or do you allow that to take the power of that situation and allow you to take a hit on your confidence and conviction because it got in the way? That's the important question to ask here is like, when do we allow ourselves to fade away from taking ownership and allow outside circumstances to hold power over that situation? Because every time we do that, subconsciously we're telling ourselves that we're incapable of getting it done. And then that creates this habitual pattern, right? So the biggest one I see in the coaching space is creating content, right? Like creating content takes a lot of confidence and conviction, and it takes a lot of power to stand in front of a video camera and spread what's in your mind and spread what's in your heart and spread what's in your spirit, right? But without action and without creating it as an intention and following through with that intention, it will never get done. So in order for us to hold ourselves accountable to our commitments, what Mike and I have done that has proved to be the number one way for me individually, and I know Mike as well, to be able to excel in personal performance has been holding ourselves accountable to daily metrics every single day. So I know last week we talked a little bit about business non-negotiables. We talked about like the power list, all those things. Let's talk about the daily metrics that we need to take as individuals to prioritize our own selves, to show up as the most powerful version of ourselves for our business so that we can hold the commitments with ourselves, right? And that looks different for everybody. It might be, and what I'm talking about is daily routines, daily habits, right? Because every time you set a set of daily habits or a daily routine to be able to hold yourself accountable to, now you are putting out there that, hey, this is a list of 5 to 6 items that I'm going to get done every single day. And doing this every single day, checking it off the list, is what cultivates that confidence and conviction in yourself. It's what allows you to step into that power so that when you are on those sales calls, you don't have that little bit of uncertainty in there because you're holding the commitments that you create with yourself, right? Every time we fall through on those commitments and we don't uphold those commitments, that's when that little bit of uncertainty starts to creep in. And this stuff translates. Personal performance, mindset, spirituality, relationships, it all ties to business, which is why I decided to start doing these Monday calls, because I think it's super important that we talk about the side of business that isn't about mechanics. The side of business that's about performance, managing emotions, building confidence and certainty, that's just as important as all of these different factors of business. So creating the confidence and conviction in yourself every single day is what will prime you to the point where you look that person in the eyes and they can see the confidence and conviction in exactly what you're saying, and they can't even look at any sort of uncertainty. Right? When they look you in the eye on the sales call, when you're on Zoom, or if you're on the phone even, they can feel that confidence. They can feel that conviction that you are the one that is going to provide the transformation that is absolutely going to change their lives. They feel that through the consistent stacking of habits, through the consistency of holding agreements with yourself. And like I said, business is mechanical. The mechanical piece, the engine, will always have pieces that might need to be solved for. But the problem becomes when we allow our emotions to come into business decisions. Because emotions coming into a business decision allows us to make rash decisions that don't have any sort of logistical proof towards them. And believe me, Mike and I have done that countless amount of times. And that's why it took us way longer than it should have to get to the point that we have. And that's okay. That's part of the journey. We learned what we needed to learn. But drop a message into the Automated Coaching Engine channel right now if you are already practicing a set of daily habits that you hold yourself accountable to. Drop a message into the channel if you're holding yourself to daily habits. What I want us to do as a team, because that's how I see this, like all of us, we're not just individual coaches growing our business. Like we are all a part of the mission of overall of impacting individuals, right? No matter what the transformation you provide is, whether you provide dating support, whether you transform young men, whether you work in energy healing, whether you're a fitness coach, no matter what you do, you contribute to the overall health of this planet getting improved overall, right? So we all can hold each other accountable to this process. So drop a message into the channel if you would enjoy us all holding ourselves accountable to our daily metrics and to our daily habits in order to have visibility and just hold each other accountable. Like sending your morning routine or whatever your daily habits are on a day-to-day basis, sending it in every day and just saying, hey, this is what I got done and this is what I didn't get done. Let me know if that would benefit you, because I'd love to create that environment here where all of us can check in, keep in touch with each other. Like, hey, I hit my meditation, I hit my workout, I hit this, I hit that, but I didn't read today, whatever the case may be. Because one thing I will mention that a lot of people don't is that admitting when you don't get something done is just as powerful as admitting when you do get something done. That's where the growth happens. The growth happens in transparency. The problem becomes like if we hide from those things, right? And that's been a huge piece for me, because that's what my coaching program, that Wake Up Wealthy, that I first bought into and now we work with at a very high level. Wake Up Wealthy does their daily check-ins with their morning routine. And probably the number one way that I was able to like up level my performance times 10 was seeing when I didn't get my shit done. So on a Saturday, when I might have only woke up and hit a 5-minute meditation and I didn't read, I didn't go for my walk, I didn't hit my workout, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do my cold shower, whatever the case may be, seeing those like red X's next to those check-ins. So like basically how we would send them is we would do a green check mark if we got it done, and then a red X emoji if we didn't get it done. And every morning I sent that in for 90 days. And I would see for myself, like, shit, I am owning up to the fact that I didn't get this done. And the more that I didn't hide from that, the more power I was able to take. The more I was able to step into that individual that can produce at a high level, own up to my mistakes, ownership, right? What I talked about in the beginning, owning up to like what this situation is, understanding that I control this allowed me to then turn around and say, okay, I admit that I didn't get this done today and I take ownership of it and it won't happen again. And it probably will happen again, and that's okay too. But being able to admit the fact that, hey, today I didn't get this done was extremely powerful for me. So I hope that it can be powerful for you guys as well. So it does look like you guys are down to start checking in. So let's do that. Let's all just kind of jot down, like, I'd love to see from you guys too. Send a message into the chat. What are your current daily habits? Like what's your kind of like morning routine or your daily habits that you hold yourself accountable to? I'd love to be able to see that so that we can hold each other accountable to those moving forward. But that's the big piece, right? Cultivating confidence and conviction. We can tell you the script. We can tell you the sales process, because that's really where this comes out most. There's two areas where confidence and conviction become extremely important in building a business. Number one is sales. Number two is creating content. Those two pieces will always have a lot of confidence and conviction that are necessary to getting that overall result. Like if you can't look somebody in the eye and they can't see a hint of anything other than confidence and conviction, it becomes hard to close deals. If you are creating content for the day and you are taking 5 takes, because I know, raise your hand if this is me. I know you guys can't raise your hands, but this is definitely me. I remember Saturday, I was recording some YouTube videos, and like, man, I almost broke so much shit in my apartment because of how many takes I took. Like I would start the video, I'd be like, fuck, like, God damn it. Like I know what I'm saying, but it just isn't coming out the way I want it to be said. And the question becomes, are you the person who throws the phone at the wall and says, fuck it, I'm going to brunch and drinking mimosas? Or are you the person that says, let me get this done? I'm not walking away from this friggin' desk, even though it's Saturday morning and I want to go to brunch. I'm not leaving this desk until I record this goddamn content. Like, which one are you, right? And that was me Saturday. Like I was getting so mad. I don't know what it was, but like the way my words were coming out, they just wouldn't come out. Like I would be stumbling almost every sentence, and I was getting so pissed. And then eventually I held myself accountable to just get it done. Just get it done. Yeah, and that's okay too, right? Like as long as you get it done, even if you have to have the mimosas in order to get it done, like as long as it's done, we can check that one off the list, right? But yeah, I mean, this is it. So I love, I love the environment that we have created here in Automated Coaching Engine, because we have created a community of like-minded individuals and people who are transforming lives, right? And we all have a purpose. We all have a true passion in our hearts to be able to impact people. And I think doing stuff like this, where we have these calls about topics that, like I said, you guys might already know about, you guys already have the reps, you guys are already probably coaching on similar topics that I am. But the reminder and being able to continuously hear this style of approach to coaching is important, so that we can all get on the same page. We can all hold ourselves accountable to what we want to accomplish, not only in this program, but in the world, right? So I think I just ran off for a bit, but I love the messages that are going in here. Let's definitely check in the Automated Coaching Engine every day and just kind of send in what we got done and what we didn't get done for the day. Like I said, like owning up to that stuff is powerful. When we keep it inside of us, like if you already have a morning routine, like we all do, that's fucking great. But how many times do you like not get something done on your morning routine and you beat yourself up a little bit and then you just forget about it? Subconsciously, that's still there. Subconsciously, that's still telling you there's a little bit of incapability or whatever the case may be. Whereas when you can own up to that in a message like this, or in a channel like this, where we can all own up to, like, Austin, for instance, like got my breath work done, got my workout done, got my affirmations done, but I didn't hit my reading. Like when we can say that out loud and admit it, we take ownership of that. We take ownership of it. We find the solution to that problem or to that thing that didn't happen. Without ownership, if we just keep it inside of us, oh, didn't hit that today, that's when our mind starts to tell us things. That's when the stories start to happen. That's when we start to believe that just because we didn't meditate today, we're incapable of producing at a high level. And it's not true. But our mind does some pretty ridiculous shit, as we all know. Stories are funny. But I appreciate you all for contributing so much to this, because it's been a while since I've run like a group call of doing this style of coaching. And I love doing this side of coaching. And for this being my first time around, I'm not too mad about the way that it went tonight. So I'm excited about doing these more often and just serving at a high level with all of these concepts. Like, there's so much we can dive into here. I love this style of work. You guys know me. I've talked to many of you about how much like I love talking about this shit. Money consciousness, money mindsets, cultivating confidence, like personal power, spirituality, like all of these topics are incredible to me, and I love sharing anything I can to be able to impact at any level. So we will continue to do these, and I'll continue to jam on different things. I'm also adding a whole section into the Automated Coaching Engine course that is about this as well, like money mindset, cultivating confidence, different things like that. So very grateful for all of you. Thank you for all the support, because it has been a while since I've done this, and this is like where I truly love to coach the most. So thank you for all the messages in here, and I'm excited to continue to deliver on this. I think next week we'll do some money mindset stuff, because that's a fun one for me. I just didn't want to kick off the roller coaster with money mindset stuff. But awesome. I think that's it for my jam session. Mike, do you have anything you want to add on to what I was mentioning?
Not really, man. It was a straight mic drop. You crushed that one, but just a couple of thoughts that I, thought about like as you were speaking, like early on, you were talking about just, business and life overall just kind of being like a roller coaster. And I always make the analogy, it's like the stock market, specifically if you look at like, kind of like S&P 500, the Dow, like the bigger types of like ETFs and stuff. That's totally different language from what we talk about here. But if you look at the how the stock market runs, there's ups and there's downs, and overall, like it's like a pretty hard concept. But if we take that into life, it's the same exact thing. We have ups and downs, but overall the trend is usually up, and the way that we identify that trend is by zooming out from a bird's eye view. Looking back at where we were 365 days ago versus now, 1 month ago versus now, 90 days ago versus now. I think that's really important, and we talked about that earlier on our podcast today, me and Mike. But yeah, and another thing that Mike mentioned, extreme ownership. If you guys haven't read the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, highly recommend it. If you don't know who he is, highly recommend you check him out. Just really like magician when it comes to discipline and within the mind. He's an ex Navy SEAL, and you probably know where the story goes from there. But yeah, just the overall concept of extreme ownership is really important, I think, in all areas of your life. Just like Mike said, like owning up to the shit that you need to do, doing the stuff that you need to do. And just overall like building confidence, that topic too. um you know it's more so like, I like to think of it as kind of like mind body spirit, like everything goes hand in hand. You've heard us talk about this numerous times in here, where in the coaching space, we help people with health, wealth, and relationships, and really that's kind of like how our life is as well. That's why, in my check-in thing that I just sent in, my morning routine, part of that involves like reaching out to my family and telling them I love them, my little siblings, things like that. um just because I don't have that, close relationship to them. But that's that one little jab that I can do every single day, to, let them know, hey, I hope you crush your day. So, I want to encourage you guys to take this a step further too, as far as like, developing your daily habits to be not just business focused or mind focused, but also including, your loved ones, your relationships, and overall just, increasing you know the output that you put, the output that you push, when it comes to mind body spirit, because as we talked about here, it really goes hand in hand with your performance and your production, when it comes to business. When you look and feel good about yourself, and you love your significant other at home, and you love your family, like you have those strong relationships, overall it's just a 360 win within your life, and it allows you to perform better. So that's one of the biggest things that I feel like me and Mike realized in, I think it was probably like 2019ish, was just kind of like, hey, life's not all about like business and finances, it's about every aspect of your life. And I think that's really important. But yeah, that's just some of the things that I thought of there. Another thing is you were talking about, Mike, overall just the like the voice in your head, that's telling you like, hey, I want to do this, but I know I need to do this type of thing. A very blunt way to put this is your boss voice versus your bitch voice. Which one do you want to listen to? Your boss voice is going to tell you, the things that you should be doing, and you need to be doing, to go to the next level. Your bitch voice is going to be the one that's telling you, hey, turn on Netflix. Hey, eat that, chocolate chip muffin that I fucking love, those chocolate chip muffins. But you shouldn't be eating those types of things. So, that's one thing that I really like to highlight on too, is just being able to differentiate the two. But yeah, Mike, you fucking crushed this one. Great job. I'm looking forward to more of these conversations. And yeah, thanks again.
100%. And one thing I do want to tack on to what Mike just said too is like when you're going through traumatic things in life or big life shifts or big life experiences that maybe weren't on your radar, those will amplify. Like that bitch voice that Mike was referring to, that will amplify. It'll be louder, right? Like personally, I've kind of mentioned it with a few of you on here, but in full transparency, like I've been dealing with a breakup with a relationship that I've been with 5 years in the past like 2 to 3 weeks. And it's been tough to deal with that situation while also still showing up for my business the way that I know I can every single day. And some days obviously aren't going to be 100%, right? And I have the full awareness of like, if I'm showing up, to me, what I have an understanding of is if I'm showing up at 87%, that's because my 87% is my 100% for that day, right? And that's where we have to still be able to give ourselves grace in certain situations. But like that voice will amplify. Like through the past 2 to 3 weeks, that voice has been loud as hell in my head. Like, hey, maybe you should just cancel the training today because, like maybe you should just lay down on the couch with Rocky and, like just dive into like sadness and whatnot. And by all means, like I've been creating the space for me to like heal through this situation and through everything that I've learned throughout this, right? But by all means, I'm still showing up in the way that I need to and delivering at the best way that I possibly can, because I know that that's what invigorates me, right? Like that situation is, by all means, it was just, all mutual, no bad things happened. It was just spiritual misalignments, like a couple different misalignments in general, and no bad feelings, but like you still have that emotional situation embedded in there, right? And I'm sure you guys that are on this call are going through similar things in your life. It might not be a breakup. It might be someone who passed away. It might be some situation where, you lost a friend or there was this complication, and, everybody goes through something, right? So like everybody on this call is going through something right now. And when you are going through something, that voice will get louder. And like I said, you will not be able to show up at 100% of days. But that 87% or that 71% or that 51%, make sure that that's the 100% for that day, the best that you can show up for that day, right? So that's something that I've really been living by for the past 3 weeks, because I know that like I love doing this, right? Like this is what I love to do. I love to coach. I love to work. I love to create things in business. Businesses, I love to do it. And I love all this other stuff too, with mindset work, personal performance, all that. So I know that like this, immersing myself in this is what's going to continue to give me that invigorating like energy that continues to have me perform at my highest level, even if it's not 100%, even if it is 81%, but it's the 100% for that day. And whatever situation you're going through in life, things will happen. They will pop up, and they will always pop up. There will never be a time where they don't. But understanding the fact that you still need to show up at 100% of what you can for that day. Because when you are able to show up at 71%, but you show up at 0% because you allow yourself to sit in a situation or sit in like a sadness, it just continues to cultivate what we were talking about earlier in this call, which is that kind of like inability or that incapability of, oh, I can't do something, right? But if we just show up in the best way that we can, no matter what we're going through, it might even be 10% that's our 100% for that day. But as long as we showed up and did that, which is the 100% for that specific day, then we can mark it off as a win. And we can mark that off as another notch in the belt that gives us more confidence and conviction in the future, right? And in business, in life, in relationships, in all these things, in decision making, right? Because at the end of the day, business is a whole, excuse my language, but I've been swearing already. I don't know why I even said excuse my language, but a whole shitload of decision making, right, is business. Business is just making a ton of different decisions. So make the right decision, the next right decision every single day, and shit will start to line up in business. I promise you. And sometimes we just need a reminder. So Mike and I were talking earlier this morning. We were like, hey, look, we should make this pivot with the calls, put these topics on, and just start jamming. And like, truthfully, before I even started this call, I was like considering finding a business topic, because I was like, I'm going to hop on here and like talk about a topic that like all these coaches know about, and they're going to be bored as hell, and they're going to be like, yeah, dude, we know. And that was all a story, right? So powering through that to be able to deliver a message that people need is something that we need to do as coaches, and it's a muscle that we need to continuously work. So like I said in the channel, grateful for all the messages today. Love this topic, and appreciate all you guys for everything here. Let's go ahead and provide the opportunity for some questions and whatnot. So if you have any questions or anything you specifically want to jam on tonight, drop a message into the Automated Coaching Engine channel if you have a question or something that you want to just like talk about for a few minutes, or anything that you want to jam on, any advice, anything like that. Just drop your question in the Automated Coaching Engine channel, and then we'll cover it with you.
I'm dying at the Hulk Hogan gift, man. That's perfect.
I like that one. That's hilarious. Hulk Hogan's a goat, man.
It's slightly off topic, but I wanted to know what recording app do you guys use? I have my first call on Friday, and I want to make sure that, you know, I can get some feedback from you guys if needed. So what recording do you guys use?
So if you do the call through the app, it'll record, but I think we have to turn on a function in order to do that, right, Mike? I'm not the best with that.
Turn on, what was that?
To record the calls in the app.
It should already be set up manually. It should be set up automatically if they just use a phone number attached.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can send you a Loom video to show you like how you can actually initiate the call on there, if that would be helpful.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'll send that over right after this. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything they want to add to tonight? Cool. Do we approve of the new meeting schedule? Do you guys like the vibe of that, where we got the mindset call, the marketing call, the sales call, the Q&A call?
Yeah, I think that's cool, Mike.
Perfect. Thank you, Roxanne. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think it gives us a lot more structure. It's definitely a lot easier for us to come up with topics rather than pulling like one topic out of the whole entire universe. We can pull one topic out of one specific category, which makes it a lot easier. So awesome. Well, I'm stoked. Thank you all for showing up tonight. Really, show up, you go up. Like I said in that message, let's continue to work together and hold ourselves accountable. So tomorrow morning, I'll be sending my morning check-in with my morning routine into the group. Let's all do the same thing, and be able to hold each other accountable. But enjoy the rest of your Monday nights. Let's have a great rest of the week, and the week strong. January, last day of January today, which is wild. January's in the past. Let's focus on February and making it a big month this coming month. So y'all have a great rest of your night, and see you guys on the next call.
Let's go. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.
See you, man. Have a good one, everybody.